Welcome back, traders. Today we're going to talk about the headline news that billions of dollars flowed into Bitcoin ETFs this morning, which caused Bitcoin to skyrocket out of its downward trend, despite some other news that we have on the docket today. Let's get into it. I'm a bit under the weather again. You might notice that in my voice. 2024 has been a bit rough so far, health-wise, but this is too big of a move for me to not talk about. So here I am, I'm talking about it. All right, anyways, this morning, billions of dollars, I think it was 2 billion to be exact, went into Bitcoin ETFs, which caused ETFs like ARKP and IBIT to jump 4 or 5% today. And as a result, you can see Marathon's up 11%, CleanSpark's up 11%, BT up 8%, BitF up 13%. I believe Cypher, despite his horrible news a couple days ago, is up 19% today. Hut up 9% today. CleanSpark chart and Marathon. So billions of dollars went into the ETFs, which caused them to pop by 4%, which caused the Bitcoin miners to all move up almost 10% or more. And you see that on the chart here. Big move. On a 4-hour chart, we're actually getting overbought here a little bit. It could go a little higher, but we went right up to the top of my little box here at 815. I love it when my technical analysis works out perfectly. You can see we're getting back into this downward channel where these upward and downward intersect. This is where we're going to start seeing some interesting price action. What I am thinking here is if I put this on the line chart, this right here, this little area, this looks very, very cuppy, very much like a cup. And cups, you know what those need? Those need handles. And that handle would take us down back into like the bottom of this range down here at 762. Could technically go as low as, honestly, about right here where these two intersect. It could go as low as about 750 before it's invalidated as a cup and handle on this move and still be bullish. So we can go all the way down to about 750 and still be bullish on this move here. So watch out for that because this is really nicely curved, very, very much like a cup. This cup is going to need a handle at some point, and I think it's going to follow the bottom of this downward trend here, probably to about this range here, 750-ish, and this is where I'm looking for what's going to happen next. Is it going to go up? Is it going to go down? Let me turn on my indicator here real quick on CleanSpark and see what happens when I do that. Yeah, okay, so I'm starting to see a squeeze in the Bollinger Band Keltner channel on the 4-hour. As price moves up, I got a green arrow on the 4-hour here as well. That's also very bullish. So we might see price kind of jump around in this space before kind of taking on upward. That's what I'm thinking, especially with this inflows. But there's some negativity on the horizon. So one, yesterday this came out. U.S. files notice to sell 130 million in Bitcoin. We don't know when this is going to happen, but they're going to sell, $130 million worth of Bitcoin, which is not really a lot dollar value of Bitcoin in terms of its market cap, but Bitcoin can be easily moved up and down by big buys and sells. So yes, today there was 2 billion in and it caused Bitcoin to jump up, a few percentage points. But a big block order of sales can also send Bitcoin reeling down pretty quick, even if it's smaller than that. So be weary of that. We don't know when this, and the thing is, we don't know when this is going to happen. And we've seen the U.S. government sell Bitcoin before and cause it a flash crash. So I want to see what happens when this actually occurs. I'm going to be watching the Bitcoin chart to, for the day that does happen. And the other bit of news that came out today is from Benzinga here. It says the halving, which is in just a few months. This is FUD right here. This is FUD. The halving that's coming up in just a few months here could make 9 of the 11 largest Bitcoin miners unprofitable. That's the biggest piece of FUD I've seen in a while. They're saying that Bitdeer and CleanSpark are the only ones that might maintain profit margins after the halving. They're saying Argo is going to lose their profit margins. Hut Marathon, Riot, and Core Scientific are all going to be unprofitable. Not going to fail either. And this might also be based on current hash rates. Pretty much all the miners, big and small, have big plans to significantly increase their hash rate because they need to double up in order to stay profitable and to stay competitive. And they know that. So, yeah, this may not take that into consideration. So take this news with a grain of salt. It is FUD. This is FUD. Um, this one, this I don't think this is FUD. This is just news. The government's going to sell some Bitcoin. Watch out for it. This here is hype, followed immediately by FUD. So that's interesting. Anyways, on the marathon chart, let's take a look at the charts real quick here to see what we're looking at. I think marathon also has a cup coming in here. Line, yeah, this is looking very much like a cup here. I think that cup comes up to about 20-ish, bleeds back off to about 17 and uses that as a springboard. And if I turn on my SMAs, let me do the daily. Let me go back to candles. There we go. Yeah. So I think we come up, yeah, the 20 SMA here, we're going to collide with that around 19-ish, which would be the top of the cup, where I see us kind of collapsing down into the 5-day, which will in a few days will be somewhere around 1722, and then I think that is where we use it as a launch pad to continue up. That's what I think is going to happen. That doesn't mean that it will. But let me look at the 1-day on CleanSpark and see if it looks exactly the same or not. It does. Except here, we got a little red dot, meaning that the 20 crossed under the 50 SMA. And we did, in fact, collide with that SMA and come down off of it. If you see here, the wick just goes up and touches the 20-day SMA and then came back down into my box, which means that this cup, oh, yep, right here, let me get a line on there, right here, boom, top of a cup. So CleanSpark is front running this. CleanSpark has made its whole cup, and now I want to see it start making a handle, and that handle is going to be kind of in this zone here. Let me kind of see if I can do it nicely, right about there. Maybe even dipping down like that. So let's make this one, I don't know, orange. There we go. That's going to be our orange one. That's going to be what I expect for the handle. And the handle can go no lower than this gap here. So if the handle goes, below 7, let's say 730, the handle goes below 730, then I expect price to return into the $6 range here. So CleanSpark is one to watch. It is front running this move in terms of it has already completely formed its cup. And now we're going to see if it's going to make a handle or just keep rocketing up. Let's keep an eye on CleanSpark to get some clues as to what's going to go on here. Let's look at Bit Digital. Bit Digital, I'm actually more excited about Bit Digital than I was before. I watched a interview with their CEO yesterday, and they were talking about the AI side of the business, which gives me a little more confidence. So they stopped selling Bitcoin, which was concerning me. They're they have a customer for their AI business that they do have a deal. It was what, $50 million over a 3-year period. So divide that by 3, that's their yearly revenue from that deal. I guess I could do that real quick. So we're looking at about 16.5-ish million dollars per year from that AI deal with. So their revenue, the revenue for Bit Digital, we're going to ignore 2021 because that was a bull run year. Let's look at 2022. That was actually a very rough year. So they made $32 million in 2022. With this new AI deal that they have a customer for, that they're going to get, they already have a deal for, it's going to pay them $16.6 million a year for that. That's half of last year's, not last year, of 2022's income. That's 50% of that income. So that's a 50% boost to their income in one of their worst years. So 2023 is probably not going to be that good either in terms of income. So it's probably this is good going into another bull run here, which uh, 2024 is going to be similar to 2020 because that was a last halving year. So we can expect incomes will probably be low. This might make up more than half of their income for um, this coming year, and bolster their income here for 2025, which will probably reflect similar to 2021, since that's going to be the big blow off top year, probably based on the cycles. Um, it'll bolster their income just that much more, and that gives them a good stance, a good stance compared to their peers, their other Bitcoin miners that don't have that income to lean back on to use in those scenarios. So while I was upset with it initially, I see the path forward. I have a little more confidence in that again. So I have been looking at accumulating more BT at lower prices going forward. And yeah, that's what I'm doing with Bit Digital. What else is going on? Also, they have Ethereum and their Ethereum staking, and Ethereum, there's talk of it getting its own spot ETF, and that's also very exciting. So I like Bit Digital for, um, it looks like its diversification is probably going to pay out well for them. So that's nice. That's nice to see. And they are also making a cup and handle here. If we go into the line, it's not as nice a one. They did do a double bottom here, but that's pretty much the move. Will fill out their cup here at about just under $3. And if that happens, we can come all the way down to as low as 260, yeah, about 260-ish again before that is invalidated. So it's also doing the same fairly motion. What about BitF, Bitfarms? So it's looking a little, not exactly the same. This one actually closed its cup too. Yep, and rejected. That's very interesting. So watch Bitfarms and CleanSpark for a for clues as to what's going to go on with the miners here in the near future. So that's what I'm expecting right here. When price gets above this section here, I don't know if it's coming back. I don't know if it's ever coming back if it gets above this line here after that cup. So this is a daily chart. So this is a big formation. Uh, I do like it. This could reject pretty hard. I don't know if we will get back to the bottom of this downward channel, but I do think we'll get back to the midpoint of it. So I'd be looking to, yeah, probably the bottom of this big candle that came in today is where that handle would finish if it makes a handle, about 218-ish. So this is where I'm looking here. I don't know if this gap will get filled. It might get a wick, but I don't think it'll fill like fully unless we really have a breakdown. So that's what I'm looking at right now. Things are looking bullish today. We are getting a sneak peek at how the Bitcoin ETF is going to affect us in terms of when there are inflows of money into this. It really launches the miners, and that's beautiful to see. And I'm so happy that that thesis is playing out and working in my favor, and I'm very happy for that. That's fantastic. I don't care for this FUD here. And this one, while it does concern me, I'll be happy the day that does happen because it'll give me an opportunity to buy more of the Bitcoin miners that I like the most at lower prices. So I am waiting for this event to happen. This one I think is just FUD. This one makes me feel like with the inflows of money makes me feel just so validated about this thesis, and that 2024 and 2025 are going to be fantastic years for Bitcoin miners. So with that said, please like, comment, and subscribe, and have a profitable day.